Hi, my name is Gerry and I am a twin troller boat owner. A few months ago I was contacted, as I'm sure many of you were, by Freedom Electric Marine to see if we were interested in buying a reverse direction propeller. Well, mine came in the mail yesterday. Came wrapped in bubble wrap. Came with directions. Came with a propeller. And it also came with butt connectors. And those are what you use to reverse the polarity on the trolling motor on the port side, the left side, so that this will turn in its correct direction. And I'm going to try to install that today. And just in case you're trying to have trouble or you're having trouble reading this, understanding it, I thought I'd do this video. This is my twin troller, and this is just some of the equipment I got ready to use to install this propeller. However, I probably won't need most of this. I removed my seats, and at first I propped the boat up. Like you can see, it's not very well propped up. It's probably not the safest way to do this, but I am not concerned because it can only go down flat onto the bunks, and I only have them raised up slightly. First we're going to remove the guard on the left side of the boat. So this is the port side. This is the side that's on the left side of the boat as it's facing forward. I'm not sure how well you can see this, but I am going to remove this grate first. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Phillips head screws that need to be removed. I'll do that first. I am removing the screws with a power drill, but be careful, I would not put them back up that way because you could strip the plastic taking the screws out. They're not very tight. We're going to reuse the screws, so don't lose them. And just as I told you not to lose them, I just dropped one. So that's all right, I'll get it. Okay. Screws are all out. Grab the rack, pulled it down. I don't know if this has a forward and a reverse on the rack, so I'm going to lay it the way how it is. So when I put it back, it will be ready to go. Here's the propeller we're going to remove. There's a nut on the end that has to be removed first, and then the prop will come off, and it says in the directions you may have to tap this a little to get it loose. Let me get the right size socket. Okay, the instructions say to use a 9/16" socket, use a gloved hand to hold the propeller, turn the screw off in a counterclockwise direction, and I did not pre-loosen this. This is the real tightness that it is. I'm taking it off for the first time. Alright, the nut. And then behind the nut there's a washer. So I have the nut, which is a nylock nut, and a washer. We're going to reuse them, so make sure you don't lose them. Let's see how well this comes off. And it came off without a problem. Now, if you look in here, I got all kinds of, oops, cotter pin just fell out. I'll find that in a second. You don't want to lose that. And then I'm going to clean up the shaft to get any kind of dirt off. And I'm going to use a screwdriver to get that off, because some of it's dried on. So I'm going to stop this for a second. Okay. This is the debris that was on my shaft. It's dried grass, weeds from the lake. Luckily I have no fishing line on there. When I took a little screwdriver, I just scraped it. This whole thing came off in a bunch. And the shear pin that I dropped is that one. So that needs to be in place when you put this back. Okay, here's the new propeller. This side goes in because it has the slot for the shear pin right there. I'll take off my other glove. Now I'm going to put the pin back through here. Turn the shaft so it's the pin would be horizontal with the ground, so it doesn't fall out while I put this on. Put this over the top. I rotate it until I can feel that it's locked on to the shear pin. Putting the washer on first, and then I'm putting on the nut, which is a nylock nut. Okay, let me put my glove back on. And I'm going to reverse the direction on my wrench so I can tighten this. And hold the propeller. There we go. You just have to find a place that's comfortable for you to work. And I don't want to go too crazy, but it needs to be pretty snug. So I'm holding the propeller. There, that's pretty snug, but not so much so that I'm going to break anything. Now, we're ready to put the grate back on, but all of the screws need to be sealed because they're under the water. So I have 100% silicone in a tube that I happen to have, so that's what I'm going to use to put on the screw holes. And I'm going to put a little dab right now in each one of these holes. Okay, now I'm also going to take a little bit of this sealant and smear it. I got a little bit extra here. on each of the threads of the bolts or of the screws. And I'll set them all aside in a clean place. Okay. And let me show you something. In the middle of this rack is a bit of a some kind of material that they use to support the base of the shaft, the skeg of the trolling motor. So when you go back up, it has to be in the right place to sit there. So I guess you really need to put this back on the same way it went on, because it might not, if you turned it around, it might not be in the same spot. So, let me get this up. This is the correct direction it was in. I'll take a couple of these screws and hand fit them. Alright, there's one. At least I get a hole started. On the other side, then I can let go of the rack. Okay. And okay, one more screw. All right, they're all 6 screws are there. They're all just barely caught. Let me get a screwdriver that I need. Okay, I have a screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver. Now, these were not in here extremely tight. So when you take them out, you're going to realize how kind of not that snug they were. So I'm going to turn it till it's snug. My guess is that if you go too much farther tightening these, they'll strip. It's snug there. And just make sure you're getting it even so that they're not hanging down from it. So the screw will seat all the way in. Okay, rack is fully up there. Now we go up on the top and we're going to change the wire. I want to show you something. See the scrapes along the edge of the plastic there? This front support for the bunk, this is the front, was tipped over that way a little bit too much, and this sharp edge was scraping against it whenever it was loaded onto the trailer, or possibly unloaded. So what I did was loosen the 2 bolts underneath here, and then I pulled this way towards me just a little bit. It stood it a little bit more straight up. It was tilted slightly that way, and then tightened them back again. So while you're under here, you might want to look around to see if there's anything that you don't like. There's one thing I can see. This is the front of the pontoons, but where I beach it, it's starting to get a little scuffed here. I'll have to give it some thought about what to do about that. Probably not driving it up onto the hard surface at the boat launch would help, but maybe there's something I can put on that, I don't know. Okay, the bottom of the boat is done. The boat is back flat on the trailer. I've got to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 screws out of this. Underneath here is where the wires to the motor go. Tip that down so you can maybe see it a little bit better. I hope you can see. Alright, now, if they take them out, you don't want to lose them. Put them in a magnetic tray. And I can feel that they are not in there extremely tight. I use this screw gun, but you don't have to. You can do this with a screwdriver just as easily. I've never had this off, so you're going to see this the first time, just like I am. Are we going to lift off this raceway cover? Alright, that's interesting. Here's where the 2 wires go down to the troller motor. And it's got sealant on it, a real rubbery sealant. It's got duct tape here to hold these in place while they were building this. So, somewhere's in here, and there is a bunch of extra wire here. This is from the pedals. And here's finally where the butt connectors are that they want us to cut off and replace. So these are the 2. And right now they go red to, or black to black, red to red. When we get all done, they're going to go red to black and red to black. And that will reverse the polarity of this. I often wondered if there was extra wire under here, because in my boat I really had a struggle to get this to the battery terminals, but I didn't think that there was that much wire, and I wish there was just a couple inches more. Okay, we're going to cut them off. And I'm going to cut them as much into this as I can because I don't want to shorten the wires. Now, see this stuff? In the directions they call it live rubber. Well, the live rubber is extremely soft and sticky. So you're going to, when you get all done, take this, pack it down around here to make a seal. If not, water can get down in that hole and then inside the boat. Okay, that makes sense? Does to me. Alright, now each of these, I want to be a smooth transition going into the butt connector. So I'm slowly, lightly twisting this to make it fit in nice and neat into the end of the butt connector. Now these are the butt connectors that they give you. They are size 10, 12 gauge. So this is going to go over the top of this. I'm going to push this all the way in. We're going to crimp it here. And then we're going to do the opposite color to the other side. So let me just clean this up a little. Just lightly. You're not trying to break any of the strands. You want as much of that wire as you can keep. But undoubtedly you're going to break a few. One little piece on the end that's a little bit too long. I want it to be a flat end, blunt end. Okay. Now, you moved wires all over. You don't want to get these wires so that they don't fit back in the track. So make sure that you're good to go. Cleaned up the track. These are going to go here. These are going to go here. Okay? Now, it used to be red to red. It used to be black to black. You're not going to do that. You're going to go black to the red. I'm going to get these out of the way so by accident I don't get them. Okay, I put it in and I turn it until it goes all the way in. In the middle here there's a stopper to keep this from going too much farther, so that this one can get all the way in. Okay, so they're going to go in like that. Now they tell you to use a crimper. Not everybody goes out and buys a crimper. These are needle nose, just about the right width. Make sure your wire's all the way in. And we're going to slowly get this down, crushed against the wire. Snug in there now. Okay, so that's black and the red. Don't mess this up. Make sure it's all the way in. Tight. going to go like that when you're done. Make sure your wires are not all messed up. It's going to go like this. Now you want these two. Get your other plug connector. Okay. Put it on. Get it all the way in. Tight. All the way in. Okay, we're done. Nice and tight. I'm going to take this, get it all back into the track. We had it originally. Duct tape. It closes down into the track well. See where the old duct tape was, so I'm just putting this back in the exact same spot pretty much. Push down, seal around it. Okay, last piece of duct tape. Okay, let's make sure that the make sure this is going to lay flat. I'm cleaning this off. clean the back side of the raceway. And when you line up all the holes, no duct tape sticking out. It's on the right way. Make sure that the groove is on the outside, that you don't try to put it on like this or something like that. Okay? Now, we want you to seal each of these holes. Again, I'm taking the loose plastic off. Best I can. There. Shoot a little. What you're trying to do is make a seal enough that no water goes down where the hole is. Can't get into the boat. Yes. One thing I'm going to do before this goes even though they say you're not supposed to run these out of the water, a second or two. Okay. Here. This one. Started. Don't put it all the way in. Alright, so I've got two started now. Okay, we've got all the screws in. Make sure that thing's all flat where you want it. These wires are tucked in so that you're not pinching them. And then screw them all the way down. But I would do this by hand. I wouldn't do it with the drill. It's too easy to strip them. Okay, well, the project is now done, but I think there may be down the road one thing I need to do. When you buy the boat new, there is a adjustable skeg on the bottom of the boat itself. It is designed to take the torque of the motor, which pushes the boat to the right, to try to steer it back to the left without you having to do that with the pedals. Now that this hopefully will not torque to the side as much, I may need to adjust that. It's only a Phillips screwdriver. Loosen the plate, turn the plate, tighten it back up again, and see how it goes. I won't know whether or not it's not correctly positioned right now until I put it in the water, and then I'll adjust it from there. Something don't forget about, in case you get into the boat and it's now steering not down the center because you forgot to do that. Don't forget to change that. Put away everything, put my stuff back in the boat. If you are a twin troller boat owner and you need to do this, I hope it helped. If you're not a twin troller boat owner, you need to buy one. You're really missing out on the deal. This is a great boat. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with me. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe. If you don't like it, don't bother. Have a nice day.